Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. A dispute between a customer and a teenager. A 15-year-old employee at a Santiago's in Commerce City led to a shootout. The teen was one of two people who opened fire.
The young man now recovering in the hospital from a bullet wound. Police are searching for the customer, and investigative reporter Kevin Vaughn now breaking down what happened.
This Commerce City restaurant was closed and quiet today,
Special attention, District 3 on shots fired in progress.
giving no hint to the chaos that unfolded there just after 4 Thursday afternoon.
Shots fired at Santiago, 5230 East 72nd Avenue, multiple colors. GSW is going to be to the chest. They are trying to cover it.
When we arrived, we determined there was one victim.
A victim who was a 15-year-old Santiago's employee. He was also one of two shooters in a dispute that ended in gunfire.
It's unfortunate that it turned so violent so quickly.
According to Commerce City Police spokeswoman Joanna Small.
He got into some kind of an altercation with a customer, an adult customer, who came into the restaurant presumably to buy food.
That customer apparently wasn't hurt.
And there were shell casings scattered around their patio area. So this was not just one or two shots. This was a shooting, a back and forth shooting.
The customer jumped into a car driven by a woman. A few blocks from the restaurant, the woman stopped and called 911, bullet holes pocketing her sedan. The man ran away. Police say they know who he is and want to talk to him.
But we certainly need the other side of the story in order to do our most thorough investigation.
Police learned today the boy should recover.
The fact that it's a 15-year-old kid and that this kid had a gun is particularly sad and highly concerning. And we're grateful that he is expected to survive, but it's still a tragedy. Regardless of who's responsible, it's a tragedy.
As Kevin Vaughn described, a very dangerous situation. There were employees and customers at the restaurant and two children in the customer's car. Still no decision's been made whether anyone is going to face charges. We may not know that until at least next week.
The person shot this morning near Sheridan and Jewel has died. Denver police say this shooting happened just before 6 this morning near a gas station. The person died at the hospital. We're working to learn more information about what led up to that shooting. Denver police didn't release any information about a suspect.
All right, let's take you outside on a Friday afternoon. We've been up in the 90s today. There you see the bottom of the camera showing us some of Coors Field. The summer heat is going to stick around for the weekend. Rockies have a series with the White Sox. So, Kathy, it's going to be hot to be out at the stadium or pretty much anywhere this weekend.
Yeah, and we love it when these clouds roll in, Tom, because it does cut the heat by a few degrees. And the clouds today might actually bring rain if you're caught underneath one or two of these fast-moving storms, which is a good thing because we're headed into record territory the next few days. So far, 96 degrees at DIA. We're down to 90 now because a cloud just rolled right over the airport, and that helps in terms of where the weather station is located, but 96 so far, and the record today is 100. I don't think we're going to get there, at least I hope not. I think that would be too warm, but 102 in Pueblo, 106 in Lamar, 100 in Springfield. It's pretty dry, so storms that have been forming are high base, the base of the cloud pretty far from the ground, so when the westerly winds take them off the foothills, we're getting these collapsing thunderstorms producing wind and lightning, and not a lot of rain yet, but I have high hopes that some of these storms that are cruising in from the southwest will bring a brief rain shower to us. Not enough that's going to, stop the baseball game or stop any of your outdoor plans. But what you do have to watch is a little bit of lightning around the area, including the terminals out at DIA. So we'll be watching these pretty closely. They're fast-moving storms, but we've got a chance of a brief downpour tonight, which I think is a good thing. Nothing severe, just kind of your garden variety storms that will track southwest to northeast. And then right about 6 o'clock, there's one little one that Futurecast has right over downtown Denver. It doesn't stay long, but maybe a little rain on the windshield, then skies will clear out. A beautiful evening, another hot summer day tomorrow. Record tomorrow is 99. So we're in the 90s now with a chance for a few thunder showers between now and 7, then skies will clear. Coming up in Maine weather, we'll continue to track these late day storms on radar ahead of a warmer, drier weekend. And we have an update on dangerous Hurricane Hillary. You guys, a hurricane, a Cat 4 hurricane in the Pacific? What? Taking aim at Southern California. They haven't had a scenario like this in 84 years, but it's been that kind of a crazy weather year.
Everybody's feeling it. Recovery for the people in Maui, that hasn't even really started. Search and rescue crews are still trying to get through all of the burned areas in Maui. So far, they've only covered about half. The wildfires destroyed more than 2,700 structures in Lahaina. More than 100 people have died. It's the deadliest wildfire in modern U.S. history, surpassing the 2018 Camp Fire in California. That killed 85. Help is arriving in all sorts of forms. Boats have brought in supplies and trucks are loaded with food, clothing, and generators. The head of Maui's emergency management agency stepped down yesterday, citing health reasons. Before he resigned, he defended his decision not to activate the island's warning sirens. Officials say those warnings could have saved many lives. The emergency agency also suggested the sirens weren't used because people wouldn't have been able to hear the warning sirens. Today, on Next at 6, Steve Steger is taking a deeper dive into different siren capabilities, not only in Hawaii, but here in Colorado, the different size of communities around the metro area. There are lots of ways where we can all get involved to help the people in Hawaii. You can call that number on your screen or go online to redcross.org or text Hawaii to 90999.
We now turn to the north, where the airport lines were long. People were trying to evacuate from the wildfires in Canada's Northwest Territories. There were 10 evacuation planes that flew about 1,500 people out of Yellowknife last night. About 22 more flights were due out today. And there's now a new fire growing across British Columbia, and a state of emergency has been declared in the city of Kelowna. This is Canada's worst ever wildfire season. There are more than 1,000 active fires burning across that country. Experts say that climate change has increased the wildfire problem there. New this hour, Westminster police releasing the body camera footage of a shooting that killed a woman. It happened July 25th on 88th Avenue at Lamar. A driver was facing the wrong way in traffic. When the officer tried to make contact, police say she grabbed a handgun and the officer fired at the woman. She later died at the hospital. We are now reviewing that body camera footage. We'll bring you more coming up at 5 o'clock. Today, a Denver judge set a record high bond for one of the men accused of setting a deadly fire that killed 5 people in Green Valley Ranch.
Gavin Seymour's bond was set for $10 million, cash only, the highest ever since the Colorado Supreme Court ruled anyone facing first-degree murder charges must have the chance to pay bond. Seymour is one of 3 teenagers accused of starting that house fire that killed 5 people. Investigators say the teens had targeted the wrong house. Seymour was 16 at the time, but he was charged as an adult and initially wasn't given bond. The highest bond previously set by a judge had been $5 million cash only, but the prosecution asked for $10 due to the nature of the crime and the number of victims. The defense asked for $500,000 cash or property. Ultimately, the judge sided with prosecutors. Seymour will be back in court next month.
The metro area cardiologist, now charged with drugging and sexually assaulting more than a dozen women, is in court this afternoon. Stephen Matthews facing more than 50 counts. So far, 2 detectives have been testifying. Police arrested Matthews back in March. The women saying that they met him on dating apps. Most of them say he gave them a drink and then they blacked out. Matthews has agreed to stop practicing medicine while his case plays out. Our team now listening in on the hearing. Of course, we'll bring you updates as they come in on 9 News at 5 o'clock.
An update this afternoon regarding a man from Golden arrested after a standoff in a Vegas hotel. He is pleading guilty to felony charges. This happened last month. Matthew Mannix is accused of throwing furniture out of a window of Caesar Palace and holding a woman hostage. He took a plea deal in court today for felony property destruction and will now pay more than $55,000 in restitution. The kidnapping charges were dropped. Mannix could see more fines and a prison sentence of 1 to 5 years. His lawyer says he will be transferring to Colorado to serve time after sentencing next month.
Well, the start of the new school year, that's a busy time, even more so for a principal. This one in North Glen is not only leading the school, though, she's also running a city.
And a group of women still kicking it, getting ready for a new soccer season.
Broncos will take on the Niners tomorrow night. Our team is already in California. We'll check in with them in Santa Clara. A live report's coming up at 4:30.